The final thing that we need to do in order to make sure that the entire application works is to complete this test right here. So this integration test, which we only have one test, right? Which is the happy path for now. So the when block will be as follows. So what we need is to say mock MVC dot and then perform, and this will be a post to and then API, and this was, let me go back. So API v1 and then payment. So API, let me paste that in, and then / and then this will be so right here, let's simply say customer ID, and then we pass the customer ID just like that, right? And let's go ahead and pretty much do almost the same thing. So here we're going to say that this is content type, and then media type application JSON, and then dot, and then content, and then objects to, and then JSON. And then we actually need a payment request. So new payment and then request. And here we need a new payment. So new payment, there we go. And inside of this payment, we need the actual ID, right? So this will be as follows, dot random UID, and then the customer. So even though we are passing the, oh, actually, let me simply do this. So I kind of like when things are extracted, right? Because it's easier for you to see. So there we go, payment request, and this is a payment right here. So let's take all of this, and we're going to add comments in a second. So there we go, and let's make IntelliJ happy for my things. And now, so inside of the payment, so we can pass for example null here, right? Because, oh, actually let's pass 1, right? Because we have full control. So 1L, so this is long, and then customer ID, and let's simply say new big decimal, and this will be 100 pounds. So this time will be pounds. So oops, there we go, comma, and then GBP, and source, let's simply have a random source. So x0 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 x0, and then description, I simply say zakat, right? And there we go. So now let me put this just like this, so you see everything in one line. So now we have a payment as well as a payment request, and we are performing the post request. So what we then want to assert is that we have a payment, right? So in fact, let me go ahead and remove this, right? Because we will have comments all around, right? So we perform the payment, and then we want to verify a few things, right? So what I want to do is actually get payments, right, by the ID. And for that, what I'm going to do is actually break a rule. So what I'm going to do here is simply say private, and then I'm going to say why. I'm going to tell you why I'm breaking the rule, but at, and then payment repository. So basically, the reason why I'm breaking the rule is auto-wired. So with integration tests, you should only be using the mock MVC, right? But because I don't have an endpoint to give me the list of payments, right? I don't have an endpoint to give me a list of payments. I'm simply using the repository. I'm auto-wiring the repository right here. So bear in mind that what you should really be doing is, let me go to the actual payment. where is the payment controller? Yeah, so payment controller. So here you should be exposing, for example, some sort of API right here to give you a list of payments for a specific user, for example, right? So what I'm going to do is the following. So I think inside of the payment request, so let's actually have a look. So inside of the payment request, we have a payment, and we actually are sending the customer ID. So I think that we don't need this guy. So I think we don't need it. So less is more. There we go. And really sorry for this confusion. And right here, simply say payment request dot and then get payment dot get customer ID. So this will do it. And now let's go back to the test. And right here, we don't need this as well. And we don't need that. So you could, redefine and improve your API, but let's keep it simple, right? So now, here in the actual den, so I want to make sure that I extract this to a variable. There we go. And then this will be payment result and then actions. And this will be the same as this one. So payment result actions. And what I want to check before, well, actually, let's say that both are 200, but also I want to check that the payment, so payment repository dot, and then find by ID, and the ID is 1. So right here, extract this to a variable, payment ID, and then payment ID. There we go. And let me simply say assert, and then that, and import assert for J. There we go. And I'm going to say dot is present. So on a new line, dot has value satisfying, and let's simply say P, so P, and then assert that P, so this is the actual what comes from the database, dot is equal comparing field by field to the original payment. So payment, so this payment right here is this one right here, right? And there we go. So end that with semicolon. And I think let's actually end this video and test that everything works next.